Once upon a time, in a prosperous city by the sea, there lived a wealthy merchant who was admired for both his fortune and his honesty. He had 3 daughters. The 2 eldest were very beautiful, but they were proud of their beauty and cared greatly for luxury and admiration. They spent their days admiring fine dresses, attending gatherings, and speaking of wealthy suitors. The youngest daughter, known as Beauty, was different in every way. Though she was the most beautiful of all, she was modest and gentle. She preferred reading books, playing music, and helping her father in his work. Many admired her not only for her appearance, but for her kind and thoughtful nature. For many years, the merchant prospered. His ships traveled across distant seas, bringing riches home. But one winter, disaster struck. Storms wrecked his fleet, and in a short time, he lost nearly everything. Debts piled up, and the grand house they once lived in had to be sold. The family moved to a modest cottage in the countryside. The elder sisters wept and complained endlessly about their lost comforts. They blamed fate, misfortune, and sometimes even Beauty, whose patience only irritated them further. Beauty, however, accepted their new life without bitterness. She rose early each morning, swept the floors, cooked meals, and tended the small garden. She comforted her father when he grew silent and discouraged. Though her hands grew rough from work, her spirit remained gentle. One day, news arrived that one of the merchant's ships might have survived and returned safely to port. With renewed hope, he prepared to travel there. Before he left, he asked his daughters what they wished him to bring back. The eldest demanded gowns embroidered with gold. The second asked for jewels and pearls. Beauty thought for a moment and said softly, "Father, I need nothing, but if you find a rose, I would treasure it." The merchant smiled sadly, for roses were not easily found in winter. Still, he promised. His journey proved fruitless. The ship was gone. Disappointed and weary, he began his journey home through a forest as snow began to fall heavily. Darkness surrounded him, and he feared he would not survive the night. At last, through the storm, he saw a magnificent castle glowing with warm light. Desperate, he approached. The great gates opened silently. Inside, a fire burned brightly, and a table was laid with delicious food. No servants appeared, no voices spoke, yet everything seemed prepared for him. Grateful and exhausted, the merchant ate and rested. In the morning, before departing, he wandered into the castle gardens. Though winter surrounded the forest, here flowers bloomed richly. Among them stood beautiful red roses. Remembering Beauty's request, he picked a single bloom. At once, a terrible roar echoed through the garden. A monstrous beast emerged, towering over him with fierce eyes and powerful claws. "You repay my hospitality by stealing from me," the beast thundered. The merchant trembled and begged forgiveness. He explained about his daughter and her simple wish. The beast's anger slowly quieted. "I will spare your life," he said, "but one of your daughters must come here willingly and take your place." With a heavy heart, the merchant agreed. When he returned home and told the story, his eldest daughters cried bitterly and accused Beauty of causing the disaster. But Beauty stepped forward calmly. "If my father must suffer because of a rose, then I will go," she said. Though her father pleaded, she remained firm. They traveled together to the castle. The beast received them in the great hall. Though fear filled Beauty's heart, she noticed that the beast did not approach her roughly. Instead, he spoke with surprising courtesy. "Your father may leave tomorrow," he said. "You shall remain as my guest." Beauty was given a splendid chamber more beautiful than any room she had known. A message appeared upon a golden mirror, assuring her she was free and would be treated with respect. Each evening the beast dined with her. His appearance was frightening, yet his manner was gentle. He asked about her thoughts, her memories, and her wishes. He listened carefully. At the end of each meal, he asked quietly, "Beauty, will you marry me?" And each evening, she replied honestly, "No, beast." He never grew angry. He simply bowed and wished her good night. Over time, Beauty discovered that the beast was not cruel, but lonely. She saw sadness in his eyes. She realized he believed himself unworthy of affection. Weeks passed peacefully. Beauty explored the castle library and gardens. She grew fond of the beast's kindness and sincerity, though she did not yet call it love. One night, she dreamed that her father lay ill and alone. Deeply troubled, she asked the beast for permission to visit him. "You may go," the beast said sorrowfully, "but promise you will return within 7 days." Beauty promised. At home, she found her father safe but weakened. Her sisters were astonished by her elegant gowns and jewels. Envy grew in their hearts. They persuaded her to remain a little longer, hoping the beast would grow angry. On the 10th night, Beauty dreamed again of the beast, lying lifeless in the garden. Fear seized her. She returned immediately. The castle felt empty and cold. She ran to the garden and found the beast lying beside a fountain, weak and fading. "Did you think I could not live without you?" he whispered faintly. Tears filled Beauty's eyes. "I have been blind," she cried. "You are dearer to me than I knew. I love you." At that moment, a brilliant light surrounded him. The beast's form changed, and before her stood a noble prince. He explained that a fairy had cursed him for his pride. Only by learning to love truly and to earn love in return could he be freed. Beauty's love had broken the spell. The castle awoke with life. Hidden servants were restored. Music filled the halls. Beauty and the prince were married with great joy. Her father was welcomed into the palace. Her sisters, ashamed of their jealousy, were forgiven. From that day on, they ruled with kindness and wisdom, and all who heard their story remembered this truth. True beauty lies not in the face, but in the heart, and they lived happily ever after. If you like this video, please subscribe and like it so we can make more videos like this.